Hey everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Momsplanation. In the background, you'll hear our guests today chatting. We are sitting down with the Common Moms. And they're so awesome.
Yeah,
Two moms who
we're at
started
their-
amazing business.
Yeah, we're at their Waterdown location.
Yep.
Check it out we'll post some more pictures. We'll take some more before we leave.
Yep. And you can find them, all their website details and stuff we will share with you. But just a couple of moms who have found an amazing way to connect moms to each other. So take a listen. You'll really enjoy it. Have a great day, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks.
You're listening to the Momsplanation. Real life, real moms, real talk.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Momsplanation. We are on location. I love saying that. It makes me feel important. But we are on location in Waterdown, Ontario. I don't know if you all know where that is, but it's just west of Burlington. Mm-hmm. And we are with the Common Moms.
Hello, hello.
Jaime and Rebecca. Thanks for having us.
Oh, thanks for coming out.
We are thrilled to be here. I think your place is adorable.
Thank you.
I already did a whole story on our Instagram, so if you're following us, you've probably already seen it. Mm-hmm. But it's adorable. So we want to know who you are and how you got this thing started, because you have a really great social media following. People obviously love what you're doing. You probably get the question all the time, right?
On how it started?
Yeah.
Yeah. People.
So wait, you guys are friends, right? You like each other?
Of course.
Like to business?
No,
not to business. No.
Know each other before we
okay.
became business partners.
We were business partners that has turned into friendship. Yes.
So I assumed. See, I was wrong.
Yeah.
So we met through a mutual mom friend, like mom friend.
Okay.
No one can see me, but I'm doing air quotes.
Yeah.
Mom friend, right? Because we
Okay.
always have our mom friends.
Mm-hmm.
We
Yes.
met through a mutual mom friend. Had our kids around the same time, but didn't
Okay.
know each other.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is weird.
And how many kids do you guys have between you? And
I
how
have
old are they?
two.
Okay.
2 boys, 6 and 3.
Okay.
I have one girl. She's 6.
Okay. Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how it got started was I have 2 boys. My eldest is 6, and I had terrible postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety after I had him, and I needed to get out. I needed to get out of the house. I had him in late November, and it was the year of the ice storm that we had around here, right? Like it was just a terrible winter. So New Year, my husband said, okay, you got to get out and you need to get going and get out of the house here.
Yeah.
So it was a snowstorm. It was ridiculous. And I had already planned that I was going to this mom meetup, and I had to get there regardless of the snowstorm. And so he helped me, like shoveled me out of the driveway, and he was like, okay, go ahead. I put on makeup. I put on high heels. I went to this like mom meetup, and I was like, okay, God. I need to like be my best self right now, right? Which is not me at all. I don't wear heels, right? But I needed to pretend that I was this like together mom.
People to know that you were a hot mess falling apart inside.
Yeah, exactly.
You know that place.
And I got there, and these moms were all sitting around in their like track pants, and they all kind of came in together, and we were all fairly new. None of us had really been to this meetup. Anyways, these moms that were in that meetup that day have now become like a close group of friends of mine. We traveled together.
Amazing.
So it was super beneficial for me and really kind of pulled me out of that postpartum depression and anxiety. Yeah. So then fast forward when I had my second, I felt great after birth, but I still wanted to get out and meet some mom friends, and I couldn't really find anything in the area that I wanted.
Yeah.
So I was in Florida actually, and nearing to the end of our vacation.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, well, I can do something when I get home and kind of organize something. So I put it out on a Facebook group, a local Facebook group, and just said, anybody want to get together and sing some songs or do some crafts? I'll do it. I'll make a fool of myself. I don't really care.
Yeah.
My background's ECE, so that's where I could pull that stuff in.
Yeah, for sure.
So I closed my computer, walked away, went out, came back like an hour later, and there were 136 moms that had said, yes, I need to get out, I need to do this, and that was all local. So from there, I invited them into my house, and there was a few of us, maybe 5 or 6, and it just kind of grew from there, and we outgrew my living room. And so we started going to some local businesses, and I said, listen, I've got this group of moms. We have nowhere to go. We don't have like a space to use. Would you mind if we came in during the day and did some stuff? Yeah. And so it just kind of snowballed from there, and we started with just regular meetups and drop-in and coffee and some crafts and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And then a mutual friend between Rebecca and I said, Jamie, you really need to meet my friend Rebecca. She's got some really great ideas about, getting moms together and starting this group. I think you guys should meet.
Right.
And I think we tried like a couple times to meet up and it just never really worked out.
Yeah.
And then we met up over coffee a year and a half, 2 years ago?
It's coming up to 2 years.
2 years
I think
in
it's 2 years
now,
that we
yeah.
met, because I remember coming to like an early event. Like I remember coming to the mom to mom sale. Actually, I got a reminder in on Instagram, and it was a picture from the mom to mom sale, and that was the first thing I ever came to after we had just met.
Yes. Okay. So almost 2 years, or just 2 years ago.
2 years since we
We've
met.
known each other longer though. Like you have this like
We spent a lot of time
yeah.
together.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
like a lot.
good connection.
Like we talk every day. Like if we don't talk every day, we get a little like
Oh,
squirrely.
what's happening?
Like, we can't.
Yeah,
We're like we need to talk. Like what? Yeah. I think I called you one day and I was like, I just needed to hear your voice.
That's so sweet.
So that's And then so my side is I worked for some big companies. So my background's in marketing, business. I worked in big corporations that were like sucking the life out of my soul for many years. I had my daughter. I had like next level crazy pregnancy. Like I had pancreatitis.
Okay.
So, which people don't usually get pancreatitis. So I had an NG tube, and for those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically goes in your nose, down the back of your throat, and then they feed you with like liquid food through this tube. So I had that for 2 months while I was pregnant with my daughter.
Oh my God.
Then I hemorrhaged during my delivery. I needed 7 blood transfusions. Finally came out of the other side, went home with my newborn baby and this tube still in my nose. 3 weeks later, I got my gallbladder taken out, which is what caused the pancreatitis. And then had my newborn, and so after all of that, like I was shaken, like shaken. I have never had the amount of like anxiety and depression that I had following that, and like my delusional thoughts on it was like I don't know if you guys felt like this, but I remember thinking, I'm gonna just sit on the couch and I'm gonna watch old reruns of Friends and I'm gonna cuddle my baby and she's gonna just sleep on my chest and it's gonna be magical. That is bullshit. That is some lies that society is telling us. Those are the lies. So I was not, and like I'm a perfectionist by nature. So because I had this vision and it didn't live up to that, I was not okay. I also joined a mom group. So I got out there, I met some other moms. I'm still friends with them today. And it changed sort of my path. So I then go to back to my corporate job after my year mat leave. I head on back. I'm like pulling about 80 hours a week. I'm never seeing my kid. I'm leaving the house at 6 o'clock in the morning to get to the office for 6:30, 6:45 so that I can work until 5:30 so I can get home by 6 and see her for an hour before she goes to bed, just to turn my laptop back on and keep going. And just to like get beat up at my job. So I was like, this isn't working. I left there and then I met Jamie, and then I was like, this is something that I believe in. Like what you're doing, I believe in this to my core. Like I need to be involved in this. Like I don't think that I had the courage to do it on my own. Like I had 1,000 ideas, but it was too scary to do it. Like, where do you start? So Jamie had started. She had taken that first step. And I was like, I want to get in on this. Like, I want to do this together. And obviously, our backgrounds are completely different. So we bring completely different things to the table, which is nice. Because we're not the same, but we complement each other really well, I think
so. Everybody asks, like, how's your partnership? Like, especially at the beginning, right? Like, how's your business relationship? I'm like, it's amazing. It's we are two different people and bring two totally different things that we need. And often if I'm freaking out, she's like, it's okay, it's all right, we're good. And vice versa. I don't think ever at the same time have we been like,
I'm actually very afraid for if that ever happens where we freak out at the same time. Like I don't know what that's gonna look like, but that scares me. I don't think it'll happen. Because I think one of us is always worse and the other one always steps into like it's gonna be okay role. Like I don't know.
So a lot of people wonder, because most moms that I talk to who stay at home, they want to work for themselves, they're trying to figure out what the path is going to be, how can I support my family, how can I make money, and still be my own boss and have that time with my kids. And so this is like the elusive question, right?
Yeah.
And so this is why we like to talk to women like you, because you have figured it out to some extent. So what is your recipe for success in opening your own business?
First of all, I don't think we figured it out. So I feel like we need to just like be really clear on that. Like I don't think we've figured that out either.
Right.
I mean,
so what I mean by that is like people would look at you, right? You have an amazing business, like visually, right? Like people looking from the outside in. You have a beautiful social media following. You have a beautiful social media account. So people looking from the outside in.
isn't that always the problem though?
Yeah.
That's always the thing.
social media.
But that is also like the biggest mom life curse, right? Is like looking on the outside in, everything always looks like it's lovely, right?
But we all participate in it, right?
Oh, we do.
So we all contribute to it. And it's
We
funny,
do.
when we were at lunch, I was saying, I get a lot of messages personally from people that I work with or that listen to the podcast or see me, and like they have this illusion that I have it all figured out.
Right.
And I like try to be very transparent on my stories when I talk to people.
Yeah.
Like I have zero figured out.
Yeah.
Like if you come to my house, there are toys, food from yesterday, laundry, my king size bed, there's cheese on my sweater.
100%.
Like I don't have anything figured out.
Yeah.
Like I'm going day to day, minute to minute, hour to hour like everyone else.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I don't know if it's because I'm transparent about it, they have the illusion that I have it together.
Right.
So people looking at you guys from the outside in, not knowing you personally, would think like, oh, I would like to be like them. They have a business, they have whatever their perception of you is.
Yeah.
So that's why we like to talk to people like you, so you can say like, these are the things that we had to do to get to where we are. We don't actually have it figured out. These are our struggles, because I think that that's the thing that's missing today is like the realness.
Yep.
The
100%.
real, like what it takes, what the struggle is, what the reality is. You know?
Well, then we try and show it. Like we try as much as we
But
can.
if you don't see the stories, because that's like her, she shows it in her stories. But if you don't watch the story,
It
like,
looks
perfect.
pretty.
Yeah. We, even when people come here, right? Or even when we're at like an event or a meetup or something, we still try to be just super real. So we always start our programs off with like a question of the week, right? I know this is not really answering what you were asking,
That's
but
okay.
and just asking moms like, what's your biggest mom struggle this week? Like, what are you struggling with? And it just kind of opens up that dialogue.
Yeah.
And we generally participate in it as well, even though we're not in that same stage of life as these moms are. We still have struggles, we still have the experience, we still have those things, right? So we try to like throw ourselves in there and let moms know that it's totally okay. I mean, there was a crossroad that I had to come to when I was done my mat leave with my second. That I had this group of moms, that I had this kind of like following, and there were a ton of moms that were like, so like, what are you doing when your mat leave comes up? Like, please don't leave. Like, please, like, don't stop doing this stuff, right? And so I could have gone back to a steady paycheck and could have gone back to security. But it was my best friend. She said, if you don't do it right now, somebody else is going to jump in and do this. And is this something that's making you happy? Do you want to continue doing this? And I did.
Well, we met right after that.
Yes.
Which I feel was like destiny.
100%.
I
had just made the decision with my husband that I was not going to do that, and I was going to jump in with 2 feet, and this was going to be what I was doing. It was scary.
Of course.
AF. Like, it was terrifying. I know, but I feel like
feel bad?
as fuck just sounds
It's scary as fuck.
It was terrifying. I mean, there was
Was it
no
mostly the financial element that was terrifying?
that, and there's always that fear of failure, right? What if it doesn't succeed? And at that point I was on my own, right? I hadn't met Rebecca yet, and I had to make this decision that this is something I was going to do. And if I was going to do it, I had to do it, and I had to go hard, right?
There's a lot of self-doubt.
Every day.
And it's like parenting, right? Because as a mom, you're like, oh my God, am I making the right decision? Am I doing the right thing? Is this the right path? And it's the same with your business. It's because you're constantly like is this the right decision? Is this going to make me more successful, less successful? Are the moms in our community going to be happy with this? Are they going to hate this? Are we giving them what they need? Like, you're constantly second guessing what you're doing and hoping that you're doing it, because we feel a sense of personal accountability and responsibility to every single mom that is part of our community, whether they follow us on Instagram from wherever, whether they come to a program, whether they come to the family room, whether we run into them in the grocery store. We feel a personal sense of responsibility and accountability to make sure that we are delivering the best every single day. And that is scary AF because you're always like, am I good enough? The same way that you do with your kid, right? You're like, am I good enough as a mom? Am I good enough as a business owner? Am I good enough for the people who come out to these things and want to participate? Like, that's I think like a big thing. It's like you're as much as you're going to doubt everything, every choice that you make, sometimes you have to just go for it and like listen to your heart instead of your head. Because I'm more the analytical one of us two. I will like live and die by numbers. I will analyze the numbers like forever, analysis paralysis. And you can almost never make a decision. As an entrepreneur, like, it makes sense, like in a big corporate company, I looked at the numbers all the time. It made a lot of sense. We dealt in millions of dollars. So the decisions were different, right? But as an entrepreneur, like, sometimes you just have to be like, okay, this feels right, and I'm going to go for it. And we're going to see what happens. And that's okay. Like, you know, and that's why Jamie's good, because she will push a little bit more on like, you know what, let's try it. Let's do it.
So the logistics of getting it together, when you decided we're doing this together, what is the nitty gritty of the steps? Are you putting together a business plan? What resources are you reaching out to? How do you find real estate? Like, these are, so when we have started talking to business owners, like, these are the messages we're getting from moms, because it's like, well, I have an idea and I want to do this, but I don't even know where to start. And like, what resources are there? And obviously I do not have the answers, so maybe you have.
Interestingly enough, we don't really either.
No, but here's the thing is, when I left our meeting, our first meeting together, I went home and my husband said, like, how was your meeting? And I was like, it was amazing. This girl had all this stuff written out and she was so kind to share it with me. And like, she doesn't know me from whoever. And I could have been like, thanks for sharing with me, and off we go, right? But it was amazing, because in my head, my like business plan that I had jotted down on like a piece of paper. This one,
drawing.
I like to doodle, and not very well. Rebecca had this like amazing like PowerPoint presentation, and everything was like I was like, oh my god, this is like.
There was a lot. I had done a fair, but that's my background.
Right. Yeah.
So to a certain degree, like, you know, it that was what I knew. Like, that was my comfort zone. And it's funny because we've talked about this and we've said, what did you think leaving that meeting? Like, what did I think of you and what did you think of me? And I know, like, I think you said, I thought she's smart. And I remember thinking she's brave. Like, just the way you were like, I'm, you know, and I think you told me that, like, you had decided that you were not going to go back. You were going to pursue this. And even what you had established, like, I remember walking away being like, this girl's done some work, like, just straight hustling. And again, that's the difference, right? Is you can write a business, of course, everybody needs a business plan, you need numbers, you need, but to a certain degree, like, when I met Jamie, I was like, this girl just hustled. Like, she brought people straight into her living room. She sang songs with them. She got to know them. Then she went out to local businesses and got them to give her their spaces for free so that she could continue to meet with these moms. She was just hustling.
She had the vision.
And sometimes the hustle will take you further than anything that you write down on paper.
But here's the thing too, is that this is something that I was extremely passionate about. I was in a very awful spot in my life when I joined that mom's group. And I will will never forget that first meeting.
Yeah.
I will never forget that. And I've actually had moms who came to like their first meeting with Common Moms that have said, I will never forget that first day that I was like welcomed into your group and your event and that sort of thing. And I think that's like, at the end of the day, we're both very passionate about this because it means something to us, right?
Yeah.
And it's great to have an idea. I mean, if you're not passionate about it, it's not going to succeed, because you need to have your heart behind it and driving that, right? To be able to speak to it.
Well, there is no fast money either, right? So if you're sort of, sometimes we go into things going, I don't want to go back into this structured role. I want to find time to balance it myself. I still want to make kind of the same money that I was making, and I still like. Yes, well, that's the dream, but sometimes that's not realistic. There's trade-offs that have to be made all the time. And you know, as a small business owner, those are the trade-offs that you have to make, right? But yeah, you're right. We're passionate about it. We're not in it for the money. Like we're not doing it because we think we're going to retire and get rich. We're doing it because we believe in what we bring to the community.
And I am way happier now than I was when I was going to work. Like I at night before, when I was working in when I had a boss, right? When I had to go in and answer to somebody at night, I was stressed. I was like, this is what I have to do tomorrow. This is what, you know, and I'd get like, and then the morning was like a crazy morning. And it was like you were saying, like working late and getting home, and you only had that small amount of time. Where now at night, I can just kind of like, yes, I've got work to do for Common Moms, but it's my own work and I love it. And it's not something that I'm doing for somebody else. But the benefit to having a partnership is that we hold each other accountable, right? And we're not answering to each other, but we hold each other accountable. And my stress, and even when I started doing this and jumped in with 2 feet, my husband was like, "You're a completely different person." You know, I can be there for my kids. I can go to their concerts or Christmas concerts or whatever. I can pick them up from school, and I still make a difference during the day. And I love what I do, and that to me means more to me than making the same amount that I was making before.
That's the dream.
But that's for me. It may not be for everybody, right?
And that's the thing, right? Is you can't. We have this like notion of having it all, right? We'll have it all. Like what? I don't even know what it all is. Like what are we getting? Like what is that? I don't know.
Well, everyone's selling a lifestyle of luxury.
Yeah.
So if you look on social media, everyone's selling a lifestyle of, you know, consumerism and luxury, right?
And perfection.
Which is dangerous. It's so dangerous in so many ways, because, you know, people financially cannot afford that. No. Realistically.
No.
Well, you don't need it. And if there's one thing I know, the more money you make, the more money you spend.
Absolutely.
So at the end of the day, like, it's never enough.
It's an illusion.
It's an illusion. Yeah, totally. But I think, so like advice-wise though, I feel like one of the things that was good is like starting small and being specific about what you want to accomplish and what steps you're going to take to get there. Because we've had this where we've gone in like multiple directions.
Yes.
And I would say we're still harnessing this now, where we still have this desire to jump on anything and everything. Like we're like, this would be cool. Moms would love this. We want to do this. We think this would help people. What about that could help people? And I think that the reason why things have gone the way they've gone is that it started in Jamie's living room. It went to some smaller spaces. The group started growing. We started adding more programs. Like this, it's been 3 years almost since the business started, 2 years since I've been part of it, and we just opened this physical space, the family room. Right? Like, if we would have tried to open this out, and in fairness, we looked at opening a physical space when I met Jamie 2 years ago. We had a lease signed, and fortunately, we were able to get out of it because they didn't sign it back fast enough. And we were like, this is insane. But we got sucked into that, going like, we'll get a space now. It would have worked. We would have outgrew it. We wouldn't have had enough people. It would have been.
No.
But again, you know, you have this desire to like chase everything that comes your way. So be specific about what it is that you want to do. What do you want to do for your customer? In our case, we don't even say customer, we say moms.
We say our moms.
What do we want to do for our moms? What's most important to them, and focus on making sure that every single experience is the best experience possible.
Right.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like that's the best thing you can do as a small business owner. That's your edge over the competition. That's your edge over the big stores or the big service providers, or that's your edge, that every mom who comes through the door knows you. Kids give us a hug when they come here. Moms know us. That's
for sure.
Focus on that. Start small, accept that it's going to be a journey and it's going to take time.
Yes.
Have the courage to keep going when it's hard.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And ask questions, right? I mean, there's a lot that we've learned from talking to other small business owners and just asking questions. And there's resources like through whatever city that you're in. There should be like a not a BIA, but the small
business support people through the city.
Hamilton's got a great one. So if you are in the Hamilton area, then there's a great one there at City
too.
Hall. Yeah, Halton does.
I think Halton's is at like Bronte.
Yeah.
They have one too.
Okay.
But yeah, there are a lot of resources. We haven't leaned too heavily, I would say, though, into them in a lot of cases.
No. Fellow business owners, we've asked.
Business owners, for sure. We've got some great folks in our network.
I'd say one thing, too, that I think helps us and allows us to better understand what it is that we're doing for our moms is we are constantly asking them for feedback.
Right.
All the time.
Well, we're with them.
Yeah.
We're with them all the time. When you come in, we're with them. Like, it's not like we're we send surveys and stuff, but for the most part, we just ask because it's us. We're there day to day. Like, it's not like, oh, we better, put something out and ask the moms. No, we'll just ask them when they're here and we're getting their coffee.
Mm-hmm. So for people who don't know what the Common Moms is and what the family room is, why don't you let them know what it is?
So Common Moms, we operate in Waterdown, Burlington, and then Oakville and Stony Creek as well. So we've got and Hamilton.
Yes.
So we've got those different locations, and within those locations, you're going to find parties. Like tomorrow, we have 2 Halloween parties. We've got meetups. We've got events, drop-ins,
And you do this all
guest speakers.
in every city.
No. So
I was like, my goodness.
Do you have other
Right?
versions
Wait
of
a minute.
yourself?
Yeah.
We wish.
Right?
Hold on.
Right?
If we figured that out, we wouldn't need to be here.
So Rebecca and I pretty much do at the beginning. We did it all. And we were going from Oakville to Stony Creek, and it was a little crazy. So we kind of took the further ones out and really focused on our Waterdown and Burlington location. We hired on an excellent ECE who runs our programs for us now, and she's amazing, and we love her. And then we actually opened up a licensing side of the business as well. So our Oakville chapter and our Stony Creek, Binbrook, Grimsby area-ish is also a licensee. So we have 2 licensees. Rebecca and I, and then our employee Erica.
And then we have 2 employees who work here at the family room.
Okay.
So basically, Common Moms is a social network for moms and their babies, where it's a combination of like social, from the context of like, yes, we have a community group on Facebook and social media, but it's a social network in the live sense of social network as well, where we're running events, we're running programs, we're doing things in the community to give moms the chance to actually come out and hang out with other moms real time.
And so are your events at different locations?
Yeah.
Within the cities that you operate in?
Yeah, different locations. So we run events in all sorts of partner spaces, depending on where we are. And then the family room is our new drop-in permanent home.
Right.
So the reason that we opened the family room, and if I say something not right, then jump in. But basically what we found is that there were a lot of moms that wanted to come outside of program time. So if you come to one of our programs, like it'd be like 11 to 12 on a Tuesday, and you see the same moms, and that's awesome. But there was moms who were like, well, I want to come at 12:30, I want to come at 2, I want to come before my program. Or in a lot of cases, we would have moms who would come to a program and then want to stay after. And there was nowhere for them to stay because they weren't in our physical space.
Right.
So you're like, okay, there's so many moms were like, we just need more, we want more.
Right.
We also found that there was like a bit of a cap. Like we have a lot of programs for moms who are on mat leave or who have toddlers who are at home with them.
Right.
But there's a whole group of kids who are like our kids' ages, even like 6 years old and stuff, who don't have a cool place to go either.
Right.
So hence Family Room is born, where we've got this like messy side, which I'm looking at it right now. No one can see that, but I'm pointing to it. It's where we've got like a sandbox, we've got an imaginative city, like we've got a grocery store and a vet clinic and an office, we've got an art table and an 8-foot paint wall and sensory stations, and then we've got a side that is like 0 to 2, which is like soft play stuff and a ball pit, and then there's a living room for moms, because our big thing with the Family Room was this has to be like a judgment-free zone for moms. Right. So the coffee is free. Yeah. The Wi-Fi is free. If you want to come in here and be like mom of the year and play with your kid and be engaged, we have all of the cool shit to play with.
Yeah, here's a smock. Put it on.
For sure.
Go for it.
But also, if you want to just sit there and look at your phone and have your kid be entertained for just like 5 minutes, sit on a comfortable couch, relax, look at your phone. No one's judging you. If you want like a cool Instagram worthy picture, that's great. There's lots of spaces here that you can get your Instagram worthy picture before or after you look at your phone. Like it's cool. Just do you. Just do whatever fits you today. Yeah. We will bring you your coffee, sit down, play, do whatever. Yeah. And come anytime. Like it's open to you. And our whole goal with this was that everybody who comes through the door here at the Family Room should feel like they're coming into Jamie's living room the day she ran her first event. Right. Like, that's what we want to create. Like, this is our home, and everybody's welcome here. That's awesome. That's like the other side.
Yeah, you sold me. I'm in.
Yeah, that's amazing. Everybody come visit.
Yep. So we generally say that, you know, we're enhancing or increasing the development of children while enhancing the overall health of moms. Right?
Absolutely. That's amazing.
Yeah. And whether that's through us or whether that's through a guest speaker or whatever, you know, and there's so much pressure today on how to be a parent, right? Like 2019 is a crazy year to be a parent, or any couple of years. You need to co-sleep, but you need to let them cry it out. You need to breastfeed, but here, you know, you should get them used to a bottle. You need to do this, you need to do that.
Oh my God, it's all
it's so crazy.
Feed them organic. But if they're not eating, they're going to not get anything to eat. So you've got to make sure that they're eating, but they should only eat organic. And you should you should do positive parenting, but don't let your kid be an asshole in public. Right. And it's like, I don't know what to do.
You can't win. Exactly.
Like, I cannot parent. Like, I don't know.
You can't win.
Yeah.
You can't
win.
No.
And it's like, you know, my thing is like the care of moms is so... like it's not even second, it's not even third, it's not even fourth. Like it's not even considered, right?
I know.
So for me, that's the thing that I'm most passionate about. It's like, you know, we do all these things for our kids, and we talk so much about how we're taking care of our kids, and what are we feeding our kids, and what are, you know, how are we, you know, engaging with them, and how are we stimulating their brain, and it's like, you know, and then there's this person that's responsible for them, whose brain is not engaged, who nobody gives two fucks how they're doing, what they're eating. You know, like nobody's asking. No. Like nobody cares. But it's like without that person, the other people that they're responsible for are just gonna 100%. Suffer.
And no one asks the mom. Did you see that interview with Megan?
Yes.
Right. We're all talking about that. Like it's where someone finally says like, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
And that's the thing. But also, okay, have you ever gone to a play place and there's nowhere for parents to sit down? Yeah. That's like my pet peeve. That's why we were like, there needs to be a living room with a legitimate couch that a mom can sit on. Like, we find moms still sit on the ground. Yeah. Because we cannot help it. We just do. Yeah. But like, even that, like, there's just not, like, we think kid first. And our whole thing is like, it's as much about mom or dad or whoever as it is about kids. Like, it matters how a mom is doing.
That's right. Okay. I don't know when women became last. Like, I don't know when it happened. Like, when did we just become, like, last, right?
Do you think we put ourselves last? I don't know.
Like, I think I'm definitely, like, one who'll be like, no, the kids can, like, I put them first, or I can sacrifice this. You know, like I definitely went down that path, and when you have a lot of kids, it gets worse.
I can't even.
So when I got to my 4th, it was like I really started feeling it.
Yeah.
Because it was so many voices and so many needs coming at me at all times that I couldn't find a way to prioritize myself. And it got so bad to the point where it was like, I don't think I can exist anymore.
Right.
Like I basically don't exist.
Yeah.
I have one purpose. I felt like I wasn't even doing a good job of it because I was doing it half-assed. So I just couldn't anymore. So I had to make a decision to be able to put myself first, because if I'm not here and I'm not around, like, what are you going to do?
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So I think that it's so important to have the conversation that says, you know, you matter, what you're doing matters.
Yeah.
What you're eating or how you're feeding your brain or whatever, like all that is valid, and all that matters just as much as, you know, what you're doing for your kids, right? It's just as important.
Yep.
And if you, I think especially for me as a mother of girls, you know, I'm teaching my daughters through my example of how to take care of themselves, of how to establish their own self-worth, and my boys as well. But like, you know, I think, you know, I looked up to my mom. And in my adult life, I started to see like a lot of my mom's, you know, self-care characteristics coming through, you know, in my life.
Yeah.
And I don't want that. You know, I want to set a different example.
Yeah.
I want to set a different trend. I want to change the narrative around, you know, how we take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So I think what you're doing is like amazing.
But what's funny is we end up putting pressure on ourselves again
Yes.
to take care of ourselves.
That's
Like
right.
it always morphs back to like,
Yeah.
right? Because then you're like, okay, well, I need some self-care. And then you're like, oh, I didn't do any self-care. Oh, I ate half a cold chicken nugget for dinner. Like, that's not okay. Like, so it's like it always circles right back, right? But you're right. We have to...
We have to find
a way because
ourselves,
I
right?
think about that too. Like, it's just to like kind of talk about that for a minute. But I think so much lately about what I'm doing that my daughter is watching more than I ever did before. Like, I struggle so much with anxiety.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a worrier.
Yeah.
And I see myself showing her that.
Yes.
And then I see her worrying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I taught her that. Like,
Yeah.
I have shown her, that's in her already, like genetically, but I'm showing her that this is the way we react to situations. And I learned it from my dad.
Right.
So, like, it's, the awareness is so much more now that I ever thought it would be. Like, I'm in that right now where I'm like, I have to find a way to be. I was listening to, I don't know, some kind of podcast or something. I think it was Brene Brown. And she was like, we can't make children who are better than we are as people. Yeah. Like, you can't make a child that is more patient than you are.
Right.
You can't make a child that doesn't have, you know, shame like you have. Like, you can only raise your child to the extent that you are. And I'm like, oh my God.
And
like,
it's
in my head, I was
right?
like, oh,
so
fuck.
powerful.
Like, blah.
And that's why, for me, it's like changing the narrative and focusing on myself is the only way that I'm going to impact the future for my children.
Right.
It's like, if I can only do it through myself, right? Yeah. And someone said to me recently, and I found it very impactful because of the way society is now with access to information and social media and all this stuff. It's like when did it become a thing that you couldn't go to the gym without posting it on social media?
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen, right? If you don't do it, if you don't post it, it didn't happen.
But it's like, to your point of being like, I'm not taking care of myself enough, it's like, because we don't have something to post on social media, like I didn't go and get my hair done or get a massage or go to the gym or meditate, or, you know, like I see people posting about meditation, like a picture of themselves meditating. I'm thinking like, that's not meditating. Is that meditating? You know what I mean?
If you're taking a selfie while you're meditating, you're probably not meditating.
Right.
You probably need to go back to the drawing board on the meditation.
Yeah.
Well, you said it. Remember that time you were like, I'm not always a good mom, but when I am, I make sure I put it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that's what we do, right?
True.
And you think that. Like, you're like, wow, I'm having this lovely moment. And even I'm like, where it's like, and then in my head, I think, oh, should I try and capture this?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God.
I know.
Yeah.
And like one of my children like really doesn't like to have their picture taken, and I've created that. I know that I have, because I'm always like, oh, you look so cute. Stand in this light. Like, hold on. And you know, now we have like portrait mode on our phone.
Oh my God,
so
I
you
know.
gotta like really like make them stand there, and they're like, come on, you know? And it's like, you're right, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember my parents ever taking that many photos of me ever. We just enjoyed our time together.
Yeah. I stopped taking pictures of mine because
Yeah.
she's 6 now, so I guess I stopped caring about the photos. And it's funny because she'll say to me sometimes, "Do you want to take my picture?"
Oh my God.
And I'm like, "Yeah, okay, sure." She's definitely the adult. Like, often she'll be like, "Oh, Mom, you forgot my one morning I forgot her to pack her water bottle at school. Luckily, I was taking myself to Booster Juice before school, and I'm like, shit, I forgot to pack your water bottle. So I bought her like a water bottle from Booster, like not a reusable one, like just a plastic water bottle from Booster Juice. I'm like, here, take this. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna be so judged at school today with this Booster Juice water bottle. Like, she parents more than I parent. She's like, you forgot one day I forgot to put her hair in a ponytail for gymnastics.
Yeah.
And she's on the other side of like the glass thing at gymnastics, and the teacher's putting her hair in a ponytail, and she is death staring me through the glass. Like, you fucked up, Mom. I'm like, oh God. Yeah.
I know. Every time I drive my daughter to dance, she's like, are you sure it starts at this time?
Yeah.
What time is it?
Yes.
Are you sure this is the start time? I'm like, yes, Mila.
Do you have it right?
I'm like, I put it in my phone so we know that it's the right time. And she's like, okay, good, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, she's all about it.
I know, they want to parent us. This is the future generation that
Of
we're
course,
creating.
Yeah, they're taking care of us.
That's good. When I'm old, I want her to be able to take care of me.
That's right. Well, and you want them to be able to take care of themselves,
like my
right?
ass.
Yeah.
Like, if they're that responsible that young, maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So where can people find out information other than Instagram about your programs, about where they can attend, like all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, you can find us on our website at thecommonmoms.com.
Okay.
Or cmfamilyroom.com, commonmomsfamilyroom.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Instagram is CM Family Room and Common Moms.
Okay.
Same Facebook. They're the same, so Common Moms or Common Moms Family Room.
Okay.
Or I like this other lady last week, you can just stop me in the grocery store. Just stop me in the
do that.
grocery store and ask questions.
Same.
She walked by and she did a look, and then she came back down the like backwards this way, and she was like, "Are you Common Moms?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Great, I have a lot of questions." And like came up and and I was like, she was like, "I'm sorry." I was like, "Don't be sorry. Let's do this, right?"
Yeah.
Someone called yesterday, my cell phone, which it must be listed somewhere, and I didn't realize that. And I was like, hello? And she's like, is this Common Moms? I'm like, yes, this is. I'm like, it's also my personal cell phone, so that's why I didn't say Common Moms. Hi. And same, we talked for like 40 minutes.
That's awesome.
So
we get it too. We find like Costco, grocery store, people are like, oh, are you Christine? And I'm like, yes, I am.
Yep.
Like, oh, I listened to your podcast. I'm like, oh, that's amazing.
oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, so
It's crazy,
I
right? Like when that happens for the first time and you're like,
I was with my 2 little ones, and I was just like, I have a bad memory. So I said this to you guys at the beginning that I would forget names. So I have a bad memory. So when someone says my name and I don't know who you are, I start immediately think like, oh shit, like I forgot who you are.
Yeah.
I'm the same.
Like, I don't know where I know you from. So I started panicking.
Yeah.
And then she was like, oh, I listened to your podcast. And then I was like, oh, that's so odd.
Yeah.
I was like, wonderful, but so
Yeah.
odd. And and since then, it's happened a few times because I live in Milton. So it still has that like small town feel. So but I love it. I love talking to people.
Okay, I'm trying to find a new therapist to see. Okay, so
Yes.
I'm like trying out therapists. So I have like different appointments.
Yeah.
I go to one last week, and I'm like telling her what I do, and I'm giving like my background and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I say like I own Common Moms. And she's like, okay, so I have to disclose, I do follow you guys on Instagram. I am a mom. And I'm like, oh my God. She's like, I can stop following, but I need to talk. I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, honestly, I'm completely transparent on there. Like, I talk about everything anyway. It's totally fine. But I was like,
amazing.
that's great. Okay.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
Well, my husband and I, he's a chef, so we went down to the food show downtown.
Yeah.
And he's walking around, and he sees some people, whatever. And then we went to this one booth to get a sample.
Yeah.
She's like, Jamie, you're Common Moms. And I was like, this is not the place for me to be recognized. Right? My husband's like, how are you getting recognized here and I don't know anybody, right?
Yeah,
just crazy. That was a while ago, too.
I saw your friend Vanessa actually at what's it called? She was at your house that night that everybody came over.
Oh, yes.
She stopped me at Lowville this morning. She's like, hey, is this Common Moms? I'm Jamie's friend Vanessa.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember her, of course. I'm like, oh, I'm Rebecca. She's like, we met. I'm like, of course we did. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We had a lot of wine.
Yeah.
Vanessa was in that group, that first meeting, my mom group. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure talking.
Thanks
to
for
you.
chatting with us.
Thanks for coming
And
in.
we wish you guys like so much success. I cannot wait to attend one of your meetups.
Same. We wish you guys success.
Yeah.
So just my very last question would be, what are the ages that your events are for? Because I know people are going to ask me that, and I didn't ask.
Yeah, so 0 to 3 is pretty much the Common Moms events. The
That's the
family
sweet spot.
room can go anyone from 0 to like 7 years old, really, at the family room. We extend to some older ages with the activities in here. So
Awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you so much, ladies. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
day.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, guys. Bye.
You've been listening to the Momsplanation and Rolling with the Momies.
Rolling with the Momies.